As the sun shines on all of my glory, my flaws don't look so bad at all. What was I so afraid of?
Hey everybody, it's Sharmel. Welcome back to Loc's Lux Lifestyle. Welcome back to another video. So today I am back with another lock hair tutorial for you guys. So let's get right into it. So if you watched my 2.5 year lock update, I told you guys that I've been a little bored with my locks lately, and before I make any like drastic decisions, I decided that I wanted to do just some faux locks. I haven't done faux locks over my locks in over a year, so yeah, I decided to just kind of give myself a break. I'm gonna put these faux locks in my hair for the next few weeks and then we'll go from there. I already went ahead and washed my hair and let it air dry. So for my faux lock style today, I'm going for more of like a jumbo boho type of look. I want them really long, but I don't want a bunch of faux locks in my head. So we're gonna kind of do like large to jumbo style. I don't want to talk too much, so let's get right into it.
So first, let's start with everything I purchased for this look. So first up, I have this Jamaican braid from Bobbi Boss, and I got it in the color 1B30, and I also got 2 packs of this. Next, I have a pack of the Afro Spring Twist hair from the Outre Expressions brand, and I got this in a 2T1B30. And then lastly, I'll be using this Water Wave from Outre Expressions, and I got this in the color Macchiato, and I also got 2 packs of this hair as well.
I'm going to be trying out a new method today. I tested it out yesterday and I really think I like the way that this is going to be. I think it's going to be really easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by just kind of pre-sectioning and pre-parting my hair off, so when it comes time to doing the wrapping and all of that, we can just kind of get in the groove of doing that. So I'm going to be doing about 4 to 5 locks per faux lock. I also already like moisturized and oiled my hair and stuff before starting. So I'm just going to be following like the natural grid of my locks to do my parting. If you've done styles like this over your locks, always remember that you're going to be limited based on your grid. So some of the parts may look a little off. They may not look as straight as you would do it with loose hair, but this is just something that I've learned to get used to. So to smooth out my sections and my parts, I'm going to be using the Style Factor Lock Booster, the Spider Grip. I used this for my last retwist. I did a full review video, which I will link down below, but I really like this product. Not only can you use it for retwisting, but it says you can also just use it for styling. So I already kind of split my hair using this. I'm just gonna take a little bit of that product in my hand. You can use a comb if you want. I usually just use my hands. It's easier, especially in the back of my head. Next, I'm just gonna divide this section into 2. So I'm just going to take that hair and then just braid it in just a basic braid. And I'm not gonna braid it all the way to the end, but yeah, just like that. And now I'm just going to repeat that same process throughout the rest of my head, following my natural grid and using about 4 to 5 locks to do every braid. All right, y'all, so here is what we have so far. All of my hair is braided down. So I said I was gonna use 4 to 5 locks per braid, but I ended up using about 3 to 5 just to keep things kind of symmetrical. In some areas I had to use 3 locks, and I ended up with a total of 16 braids. So now I'm gonna go into the Bobbi Boss Jamaican twist hair, or Jamaican braid hair. And these usually come in like 2 bundles. So the hair looks something like this. I'm gonna take 2 pieces and basically I'm just going to feed it in to the tips of those braids. And this does not have to be perfect because we are going to wrap this. Might have to use 3 pieces because it's a little thin for my liking. So I'm gonna use 3 pieces actually. Honestly, depending on the hair that you use, you can use any type of Marley hair. But yeah, depending on the hair that you use and depending on how thick you want your faux locks to be, that's gonna determine how many pieces of this you use. So yeah, this is what we have. So I braided it kind of far down, but now that I think about it, you really don't even need to braid it down this far. Honestly, braid it in enough to where it's secure with your locks, and then you could just leave the rest loose. But this is the next step. All right, y'all, so all of the braids with the added hair are in. I only attempted like box braids over my locks one time. I was like 5 or 6 months into my journey. I absolutely hated it. Haven't tried it since, but I mean, these are not perfect braids, but now that I have a little length and everything and my locks are pretty much matured, it kind of makes me want to attempt to try the box braids again, like some jumbo knotless box braids, maybe like boho style. I don't know, I may do that. That may be coming next. But now we are going to get to the wrapping part for this. So again, when I do any type of faux lock styles, I personally like to mix textures. I like to play around with textures. I've been doing this since a long time. I've been doing like mixing textures since I've been doing faux locks with my loose hair. So I'm going to be using a mixture of the Outre Expressions Spring Twist hair as well as the Outre Expressions Water Wave Fro Twist hair. I may even leave like some pieces out to do kind of like a boho look. So this is the Spring Twist hair. Honestly, you don't have to get all these different textures of hair. This is just a preference of mine. Water wave or spring twist hair will do just fine for wrapping for faux locks. Also playing around with color as well. I'm about to just do like basic wrapping around this braid. I'm not gonna crochet it through the base or anything. And so y'all, I'm just feeding in hair as I go to make sure I cover all the length. And I'm just grabbing hair, honestly. I'm not picking based on like color or anything. I'm literally just grabbing hair. I was wrapping pretty tight around the top portion, just to make sure my braid wasn't peeking through too much. And then once I get to like the loose part of the hair, you do not need to wrap super tight. This texture will create like the textured faux loc already for you. So then when I want to close it off, I'm gonna pull a piece out. This rest of the hair I'm going to fold up. Then I'm gonna take this and then just wrap it around. It's kind of hard to show y'all because it's so long. You can tie a knot to close it off, but honestly, I think I'm gonna just keep wrapping really tight to end it. Palm roll it. And here is what it looks like.
And so I'll walk you guys through the process again. So I normally start wrapping at the base using the spring twist hair. And I'm not doing anything special. If you've done faux locks before, it's just the basic wrap method. I also wanted some loose curly pieces hanging, so I'm going to take a piece of that water wave hair and I'm going to lay one end with the anchor of the faux loc, and I'm going to take the other end and put it out the way. And then I just continue the wrapping process. And then once I start to run out of the wrapping hair or it starts to get a little too thin, I'll feed in some more hair to continue the wrapping process. And when I feed in the additional hair, I'm kind of alternating between using the spring twist hair and the water wave hair, and that is what kind of gives me a little extra texture. This is optional. If you're just using spring twist hair, then you would just continue to feed in spring twist hair. If you're just using water wave hair, you would continue to just feed in water wave hair. But again, it's just a preference of mine to mix textures. But yeah, like I said, this is really basic faux loc 101 with the wrapping. I'm not doing anything special. And I apologize, you guys. I'm trying my best to keep it in frame. But like I said, these are on the longer end. But once you get to your desired length, just fold the hair back up and wrap towards the top of the loc until you run out. And then you can just palm roll it and it'll be secure. And then it'll look a little something like this with the curly piece hanging. And I also just took like some pomade and grease and ran it through the curl just to try to get rid of some of the frizz. This is synthetic hair, so it's gonna frizz and tangle, but I'm just trying to minimize it as much as possible. But yeah, that's pretty much all I'm doing. And then I just continued that same process throughout the rest of my head, and that was pretty much it. It's super easy, especially once you find your rhythm. It took me about like 3 to 4 hours with a few breaks here and there. So I mean, you got to sit down for a little bit, but you know, for the most part it is pretty quick to do. I also added like curls kind of sporadically. So on some of the locks I did like 1 curl, on other ones I did maybe 2 to 3. This is definitely a style where you don't need to be perfect, and in my opinion it looks better when it's a little more on the messier side. And here is how it looks once all of the faux locks have been installed. Now we're just gonna do some last finishing touches. So I'm gonna just touch up my edges using my Style Factor Edge Booster. And then I'm going to go in with my Nairobi styling foam and just mousse everything down. And lastly, I'm just going to go in with this hot towel that I steamed, and I'm just going to use this to relax the locks a little bit. Because I wrapped kind of tight at the base to disguise my natural locks, they were a little stiff towards the roots, so I'm just using that towel to loosen them up and just give them more body and movement. They were still kind of stiff in some areas, but after a few days they definitely loosened up and just kind of felt a lot nicer. And then now I'm just going in with some oil to oil my scalp, and that is it for this look, you guys. Overall, I really like how this look came out, and it's also one of those looks that look better over time as it gets more frizzy. But yeah, that is pretty much it. It was definitely the break that I needed for my hair, just something different to switch it up. The only downside is that it was a little uncomfortable to sleep in. Like, it wasn't too heavy, but it was just uncomfortable to lay on at night. But thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on all of my social media platforms, and I will see you beautiful people in my next video. Bye.